I wouldn't take one bad review as it's going to break your business or it's really going to hurt you. Because if you're being consistent about getting positive on the reviews, guess what that shows Google when they see an occasional 1 star or 3 star or 4 star review? It shows Google that these are the reviews for your business are real.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Today we have a special guest, not a gym owner, but he is in the community for sure. Helps out a ton of gyms. Trey Tamble with SiteFit. Trey, thanks for hanging out with us today, buddy. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Sherman. Appreciate it, man.
Now, getting to know you, already know that you're 10 times smarter than me with all of the tech and all of that stuff.
I don't know about that.
So here's the thing, like everyone talks about like websites. I want to jump right into it. Everyone talks about websites and all of this stuff. And yes, anyone can build a website. I built my first website in my gym, 15 years ago. I got on something and figured it out and had the pictures up.
Yep.
Pretty sure the website was pure crap. But it looked okay, right? Like it looked okay. And I think most people sort of come from that mindset where it's just like, well, it looks okay, so everything must be okay. But obviously we've been talking about some things, and for just what it's 2025, and with gym owners, what would you tell gym owners who are thinking, I'm just gonna do it myself, right? I'm just gonna take care of it, just gotta get started. Obviously you're in the website business, but like tell people what they're really missing out on, because I think there's a huge thing they're missing when they try to do it themselves.
For sure. So, my advice is I try to be unbiased as much. Like, what would be the advice I would give myself if I was starting a gym or if I was running a gym right now? And the advice would be different depending on people's situations, right? So, like when a gym owner is first starting out, if they're strapped for cash, because there tends to be like two types of gym owners that are starting out: people that are bootstrapping it from the ground up. They don't have a lot of resources to set something up, and ones that this is maybe not their first business venture, or maybe financially they're in a position to really set everything up perfect the first time around. My advice would be different depending on the person's situation. So when people are bootstrapping it, if you got to get something up and you really can't afford something that's more premium, getting something up yourself is better than not getting anything up at all, because at least you are building domain reputation, because that's a big part of Google's algorithm when you're talking about organic search traffic, organic leads that ideally people want to generate. You want to generate them from all sources, organic, paid, referrals, etc. But organic's a big part of that. Just throwing something up yourself is definitely better than not having anything. But at a certain point, it becomes necessary to get serious about it and build a site that's really gonna generate leads. And at the end of the day, just as like a gym owner, when they're talking to new potential members, somebody can go and do a workout at their house, right? And get a workout there. But if they go to a gym, they work with a trainer, right? They know more. They're going to get a better workout. They're going to get in better shape. And that's the exact same argument can be made with what we do for gyms, right? We've been doing this for over 10 years, and there's a lot of little tricks from everything from organic search, helping benefit gyms in that sense, to ways users interact with the site, our experience of that, how to get them to convert. Because when we work with new clients, if it's an established gym, one of the things that we always tell them is, when we launch a site, it can take about 8 to 12 weeks if it's an established gym for them to start seeing organic search traffic benefit from what we do, right? It's not instantaneous as far as Google re-indexing the site, but just immediately once we launch a site, usually the existing traffic that they're already getting, we convert that better than what their existing site is. In some cases, by a substantial amount. I hate saying the word double, triple because
Yeah.
there's an asterisk on that, but in some cases it does double, triple traffic or double, triple leads. That is just from their existing traffic that they're getting before they get an SEO benefit. So yeah, I mean, my advice changes for gyms depending on their situation because I'm not, I get the bootstrap model. I've bootstrapped businesses and stuff myself. Sometimes you can't afford, the perfect kind of
Yeah.
solution to everything initially, and that's okay. But when you do have the resources to be able to do that, it's an important investment to help your gym be successful or more successful, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think that, again, I started my gym in my garage, and I get it, right? At times you
Yep.
can't, but this 15 years ago, I get at times you just don't have the money. But like now, it's just so competitive that if you're not coming out with sort of guns a blazing in some of these areas, and I think website
Yep.
is one of the primary ones. If you come out playing around, even if you have a great service or product, they're just not going to be able to find you. So if they can't find you, it doesn't matter about much else.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to make a scalable gym long term, you got to be firing on all cylinders, right? And the website's a big part of that. Because you can make a gym profitable just by hard work, by good positive energy, and providing value to your clients, right?
Yep.
But to make it sustainable long term, you got to have infrastructure in place, other people to help manage your gym, and be able to feed those people as well, and to expand the value that you can offer to the greater community. You got to get seen, and organic search and the website's a big part of that. It's not going to make or break anybody, but if you want to take it to that next level, you need something that's going to really perform at that next level.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to jump into that immediately because I think that, like, I still go to some people's website, obviously, with our marketing, we go to their website and we're just like, this is horrible, right? Like this
Yeah.
this is atrocious. And I just think with the competitive landscape of it, again, the times have changed. So, when you guys are opening up, I think you need to make sure that your website is one of those things that you have budgeted for. So at least people can find you and search for you and, get to your business so that you can get to that next level, because long gone are the days of specifically, we work with a lot of CrossFit gyms and
Yep.
like the good old days where no one knew what it was and just want to try it out and all of that stuff. Like those days are gone. Most people know what it is. So when they pull it up now, it's going to be, it's all ranked. It's going to be, okay, who's top? These people are just trying to find somewhere. They're not going to say, okay, let me read the reviews. Let me ask around. No, I'm going to search fitness near me or karate near me, jujitsu near whatever.
Yep.
And if you're down at the bottom, most people are not going to even make it to you.
No. Well, here's an interesting statistic on that is when you're talking about organic search results, the top 5 are the only ones that really matter, and the top 3 are really the most important. So depending on the search, roughly about 75% of people are going to click on that first search result. The second search result, you're going down to like 10%. And then the third is, getting to the single digit percentages, and then everything below 4th, 5th is still not bad. But below that, I mean, you might as well not rank for that term. Now, I will say a lot of times the term that people think is important to rank for isn't always the most important term. Or if you're in a really competitive market, right? Like let's say, gym in your town name, right? That's probably an important term if you're a gym owner, right? Or CrossFit in my town name if you're a CrossFit gym owner, which also gym and CrossFit, both those terms would be important in your town name.
Yep.
But let's say that you're in a really competitive market and it's very difficult to rank for that term. Well, there's still other options in cases like that, where you can try to rank for many variations of that term, right? What is the best gym in my town name, right? What is the best gym in my town name near me, right? Because people will search those phrases. It's not always just that term they're searching for. And even if you're in a really competitive market where you have somebody dominating that term, where it's going to take time to really pass them up in organic search, you can focus on optimizing for a broader spectrum of combinations of that term or that phrase being used in people's searches. And usually those many combinations will equate to more traffic overall than just even that single term itself each month, as a whole, not individually, right? So even in competitive markets, you can drive a lot more traffic even if you can't surpass people for the ideal term. Now, of course, we want to rank well for all of them, right? But if they can't pass that, you know, pass that threshold quickly or easily because of competition in that area, there's still other ways to drive a lot of traffic being well optimized. Like I said, for many of those variations of those terms, which sometimes are easy to optimize for very quickly, even in really competitive markets. One of the biggest things I would say though for new gym owners though, or somebody that's looking to open a gym or going to be opening a gym soon, that they need to keep in mind is, so for an established gym that's been around for a year, 2 years or more, and had a website up for a year or 2 years or more, it only takes about 8 to 12 weeks for Google to re-index their site when they launch a new website with us or really with anyone, right? But for a brand new gym owner, there's a thing called domain reputation. And so basically, how long has your domain been registered and how long has it had a web page up under it, right? And Google will basically, when you have a brand new domain and you just put a website up on it, you have pretty much no domain reputation. And it takes 6 to 12 months for Google to really build up a substantial amount of domain reputation. So it's important for new gym owners, even before they open, to get something up, even a splash page up under their domain. So Google is indexing that domain and a website under that domain. So then that way, the day they open, if that's the day their website launches, they're going to wait 6 to 12 months to build up domain reputation to really have a chance of getting substantial amounts of organic traffic, versus if, let's say, 2 to 3 months before they open up, they already have a splash page up and under their domain. Now they're ahead of the ball there of basically getting indexed by Google. So now it's not going to take 6 months or a year after they open to start getting a substantial amount of indexing because of that domain reputation improving. They can, now we're talking hopefully 3 months, maybe 6 to 9 months that it takes. So if you're opening a gym, you need to get a splash page up under the domain you're going to be using as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is all big time stuff. Like I said, that's why I've always trusted people to deal with my website. So tell me this, give me 2 or 3 common mistakes that you see with websites, because I think people listening are definitely tuned in, but I think they, yeah.
So I mean,
give me 2 or 3 mistakes.
I'll give you 2 or 3 mistakes, or a couple maybe here that are easy for people to correct that can make a substantial impact. Number one, we'll talk about just the niche of CrossFit gyms as a whole, right? Making sure on the CrossFit.com, the affiliate map, right? Making sure that you have your website linking there, because CrossFit on their affiliate list will link back from CrossFit.com over to affiliates' websites, but sometimes affiliates don't have that linking back. HQ didn't update it for them or whatever, right? And so if you're a CrossFit affiliate, making sure that you have that link back on there. If you don't, contact HQ to update that. That's a big one. Another one is making sure you have your Google business listing set up, and then that you have control of it. You have a link to your website on it. And then the other big one is actually getting consistent positive online reviews from your customers. The keyword is consistency with that. So 2 big things that we can't control from an SEO perspective that impacts gyms a lot is link backs from other relevant websites, right? So, people will get emails from time to time, with SEO experts saying, hey, we can provide you all these link backs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Be careful with those. Those can hurt you, because the keyword of what I just said was quality link backs with that. So Google has a thing called PageRank. This is back before 2012. We were talking a little bit about that before we started the podcast here
Yeah,
about
yes.
SEO pre 2012. So before 2012, when they did this thing called the Penguin update, Google would actually disclose the page rank of all websites, right? And there's a page rank of 0 to 10, right? 10 being the highest page rank. So what page rank is how relevant Google finds that website is, right? Now, they used to show that publicly. They since 2012 got rid of that and hid that. But basically, the higher a page rank is of a website linking back to your website, the more power that has from an SEO perspective. So
Mm,
Google finds that relevant. So that's why if you just, let's say, have a bunch of spammed links that you pay for on a bunch of
yeah.
random websites that have no page rank, you don't get any benefit from it. But like for CrossFit affiliates, if you get a link back from CrossFit.com, or let's say you have a local news article written about you on a news website, and if they link over to your website, you get a substantial amount of SEO benefit from that. So number one would be link backs. Specifically, if you're talking about a CrossFit affiliate, make sure you check your listing on the CrossFit.com website and that's linked over to your site. The other thing would be consistent positive online reviews, because your Google business listing does link over to your domain and they associate your business listing with your domain, right? It's important that people interact with that business listing, and positive online reviews, consistent positive online reviews are really important. And consistency is really the key word with that, because someone will be like, well, my competitor has, they've been around for 10 years and they have 1,000 reviews, right? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. But if they haven't gotten a review in the last year or two, and let's say you have 100 reviews, but you've been consistent for the last year or 2 years of getting at least 1 or 2 reviews every month, right?
Yep.
Google's going to have a preference towards that because it's showing consistent relevance of your business listing. So those are two things that business owners can do right now that
Yeah.
are going to make a substantial impact, right?
Ma-
In their search results.
Man, that's huge, because here's the thing. I just sort of asked that question for our listeners, but when I had my gym, this is something I used to do consistently. I used to like I had these little cards where members would give me reviews, um, and I would ask. So like I would have like a list of 3 people that I wanted to leave me a review that month, and I
Yep.
didn't move past those 3 until every all 3 of those people had written me a review that month, right? So I would stay
Yep.
on them. And then I would also every single month, because I used to always joke around and say Google likes when you Google. So I would also go in every month,
That's true.
and I would update my photos on my Google My Business.
Yep.
And I think that helped my SEO tremendously, because I was always the top rank. I wasn't doing anything super special, I thought, but I guess that getting those consistent reviews really was a game changer on top of running the paid marketing.
Yeah, and not to mention the social proof, associated with that too.
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy there. You have the social proof that's getting on there. Of course, that's great. But then Google recognizes that in their algorithm, right? And it finds you more relevant when people are interacting with you consistently like that. So that's a big one. And Facebook reviews help too a little bit, but like not to the same degree of like Google reviews, especially these days.
Oh yeah, I don't think I had many Facebook reviews at all. So tell me this, because I had, and this may be on a tangent. You may say, let's not dive into that, because I went on Fox News one time. Right, I was on the Fox News,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was talking about paying off debt. So I was on national TV. All these freaking crazy people went on my website or went to my Google, and they left me horrible reviews. Now
Yep.
I had to go. I had to go call Google. Google took most of them down, just about, I would say 95% of them. But what about, like, is there a way? Because I hear gym owners, some freak out about it, some don't care. They get a bad review from someone that sort of whatever. Is there a way to have those negative reviews taken down, or is just I'll let it play out?
To a degree, if they're spam reviews, you can appeal them
Okay.
to Google, and they'll do it sometimes. I would say the support you get for a Google business listing is inconsistent.
Gotcha.
Um, I've noticed that if a gym owner is spending ads through like Google AdWords, or I guess they call
Yep.
it Google Ads now, um, they seem to be more motivated to help you on that.
Makes sense.
But but yeah, there's not really a way to get them removed unless it's spam, and
Okay.
you got to hope you get the right support person. Now, in cases, I have seen cases where there was like a deliberate attack on a gym before. This is kind of edge case, but bit crazy, where there's someone that went around spamming a bunch of bad reviews on someone, and I say spamming, but not in a detectable way where Google recognizes
Yeah.
it as spam, right? And there's been cases like that where we've dealt with it and seen that on gym owner sites, and we've had methods that work that can help correct that if it's absolutely catastrophic, where you nuke your business
Yeah.
listing, but then you got to
Yeah.
start over with it. But there was a gym I won't name that we did that with, and that helped them. But I would say, normally I wouldn't take one bad review as it's going to break your business or it's really going to hurt
Correct.
you, because
Correct.
if you're being consistent about getting positive on the reviews, guess what that shows Google when they see an occasional 1 star or 3 star or 4 star review?
Yeah.
It shows Google that these are the reviews for
Real.
your business are real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you're outweighing it with positive reviews, it's not going to matter in the long term.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I even like if I'm traveling and I look up a business like a restaurant primarily. If I look up a restaurant and they have 10,000 reviews, I'm making numbers up, but they're all 5 star, I'm sort of like, I don't know about this place.
Yep.
Now, if they have 10,000, they have 9,000 great ones, but 1,000 bad ones, I'm like, this is the spot right here because you
That's
can't make
exactly.
everyone like you
That's
can't make everyone happy. Like everyone understands that. So
no.
guys that are listening, you get a bad review, it's okay. Just don't stress yourself out. But I will say shout out to Google because when I got spammed by people all over the country, they did take them all down and rather quickly too. I wasn't
Yeah.
really I really wasn't concerned, but I wasn't going to let them win and keep them up. So they got them down. So that was
Yeah,
good.
well, and you know what? If you're helping a lot of people, because I mean that's every business owner's goal at the end of the day. Provide value that's beneficial, that enriches people's lives. Whether it's physical fitness or what for us helping gym owners make more money. If you're helping a lot of people, guess what? You're going to have the occasional person that isn't going to be thrilled about whatever. Maybe you're not the right fit, right? And that's okay. You should wear that as a badge of honor if you're getting the occasional unpositive review, because that means
Yeah.
you're probably hitting volume. That means you're really helping a lot of people. So that's don't take the legit unsatisfied review as a negative. If it's good feedback that they gave you, cool, you got something that you can improve upon in the future. If it's a crazy, which happens occasionally, that means you're processing a lot of people, and there's a certain percentage of the population that might just be incompatible.
Yeah, no, I agree. So tell me this, because I want to get ready to wrap it up. I want you to sign some people up. If they're listening, why should they work with you guys? Because I want people to know. I think they should, but I want you to tell them why they should work with you. And we're going to end it with that. I'm going to let you self-promote.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, our promotion is really the value we drive at the end of the day for our customers, and a lot of times, most of our customers are referral traffic, and the reason why is because we drive more leads in a sustainable way for people organically, and we do that through organic search. We do that through optimizing our sites on the user experience, and how, when I'm talking about a user, a new prospective member is going to interact with the site and capturing their information. And for a lot of gyms, on the conservative side, I would say they see a 30% increase in leads, which, depending on their scale, that can be very substantial. We also have customers where we see a 2, 3, 4x in their lead volume overall. And we're able to adapt to it over time. So when I say sustainable, Google makes a major update to their algorithm. Our customers, when we build their site, it's built out, it's optimized for how Google is at that time. When Google makes that change, guess what? We change it too. Which that happens, and we make sure our customers are successful long term. Dave Rubin, that connected us initially, is a good example of that, right? We've been working with Dave. I should have looked it up, but I would say 7, 8+ years possibly at this point. And we've if you looked at the first site that he did with us years and years and years ago, very different than the one now, because like you said a second ago, the market has changed as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And so we are very passionate about making sure that the gyms we work with are always at the front of where Google's at, where Google's going, and are going to generate substantially more leads than any other option out there that they could choose. And we do a damn good job of that in most cases. And I would say, I always tell people 9 times out of 10, we hit the nail on the head the first time around with a customer site when we launch it. But guess what? There's still maybe that 10% of time after we launch a site, we got to go in and make some adjustments. With SiteFit, we always do that. We will dial it in, and especially in competitive markets, that can be a thing, right? Like if we're working with somebody, gyms in Manhattan is a great example of that. It's very, very dense area, and there's lots of little suburbs, neighborhoods that you have to optimize for organic search, right? Well, once we launch a site, if adjustments are needed, now we have real data on it, and we can get somebody dialed in, and they're going to see better results midterm, long term than otherwise they could ever think about getting with their own solution or even another service that's out there. So yeah, we work hard, and I mean, I think the track record of us being around for over a decade, doing what we're doing, and still operating at the cutting edge of gym websites speaks for itself. People can always check it out, sitefit.com, go and check it out, and inquire, see what we can do for you. And we'll shoot you straight. If you're a brand new gym owner bootstrapping, we'll tell you if we're the right fit for you, or if it's not in your budget right now. Guess what? We'll give you solid advice on what you should do to be successful, because we're big on we want everybody to win. If everybody's winning, there's only more value being created, man. So yeah. That's my plug.
Good. That's perfect. No, we're going to end it with that. But I have a question. It's sort of off topic because I know you. We know each other now. What's your favorite firearm? You have to pick one. Don't give me that I don't have it. You got to give me one. If you had to choose one, favorite firearm.
Funnest to shoot, or funnest to go into the wilderness with?
Here we go. I'm going to say go into the wilderness.
Well, I would probably take one of my shotguns, most likely, either that or a drum-fed Yugo M92. But I don't know. There's so many to choose from.
I knew it was gonna happen. It's fine. Guys, but seriously, if you're looking for a site, reach out to Trey and his team at SiteFit. Because I know these guys are going to take care of you. We're excited to be working with them now. We've done some small things and they've blown our minds. So if you're looking for a website, reach out to SiteFit. And guys, as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoy. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.